you get? Start with an opening statement from Coach.
We're excited to advance. We're fortunate to advance. Have a lot of respect for King. Obviously, growing up, watching college basketball, first time I met him, I was a little starstruck. But he's a really good coach. He's a great dude. He's really gravitated to my son in our times that we played. Sent him T-shirts, which may be a recruiting violation because he told me he offered him a scholarship. I'm just kidding, but he's got no chance of getting him because I'm sleeping with Johnny's mom. So I think I got a really good shot. How cool is that? You know, your son plays his final college game and comes off and hugs his dad. You know, I'd be blessed to be able to do that someday. Proud of these guys. Showed a lot of resilience. They made a run, cut it to whatever it was, 7-8 points. I got in the huddle, didn't have to say much. It's because of the leadership from guys like Kobe and Benny. You know, he's Xander's a really good player. I'm allowed to say his name now because it's over. Okay. We have this thing in scouting where you never say a guy's name, you only say his number. And, you know, to hold him to whatever, 4 for 18 from the field and 4 free throws. Rain Smith doesn't get enough credit for his defense. He guarded him a big chunk of the game. And then, you know, Kobe Rogers, it was, to be honest with you, it was one of the better single defensive performances I've ever seen. He was locked in. He's there's a little chip with our team. Obviously, there's a chip with him for a bunch of reasons, like that's not for right now. And Benny was a monster. We went to Benny, and you know he's like, if you're from the '80s, he's like feeding a gremlin after midnight. When he starts seeing it go in, and you keep feeding him, he can really heat up. That's why he's got the nickname. Is it Benny Buckets?
Yeah, I think so.
Benny Buckets. T-shirts and sweatshirts are on sale right now online.
Yeah. We're going to start with questions for Kobe and Ben. Trevor.
Kobe, Coach just spoke to the game plan. We can say Xander now. Good. Thank you for the clarity there. Xander obviously had 16 points, which is low for him, obviously, but your defense really was a huge turning point there in the first half that helped get you guys the lead. Talk about how important that was for your team.
You're right. He's a great player, and he was a big part of our game plan. You know, you got to give it the credit to him. He makes tough shots, and that's what we were kind of banking on. If he's going to make tough shots, then he's going to make tough shots. We just got to make sure we're physical with him. No easy looks. Try to keep him off the free throw line because he gets there a lot. And I think, you know, not only myself but Rain and our team, honestly, because you can't really guard him one-on-one. So, like, I got to give credit to my teammates as well, being there in the gaps. And then if he did get by me, you know, I had Tay and James back there to have my back to contest the shot.
And back to Scott.
Kobe, just what was – I mean, you obviously played in the Division II tournament last year, but does the madness kind of feel the same? Does it feel elevated for you? I mean, obviously you stepped up to that stage today.
No, I think it's the same, right? Basketball it's going to be a game of runs no matter what division you're at. And luckily enough, I was able to win a national championship, which I never thought I was going to do. But it's easy to play with these guys, right? They're hardworking, just like my old teammates were. They want to win. And, yeah, it's easy to play for them. It's easy to play for PK. And now we just got to go out there and finish the job.
John and then Dan. John's in the second row.
John Titel from Hoops HD for Benny Buckets. Last year you got to play against Frankie Policelli in this tournament. What's it like playing with him now? 4 threes, no turnovers today. He looked very good.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have him on my team than play against him. Like you said, he makes threes. He's physical. He rebounds. Yeah, I like having him on my side.
And back to Dan. And then to Andrew.
Ben, Coach talked about in his opening statement kind of about Monmouth cuts it to 7, then you could go on that 12-0 run. Kind of started off by your, I guess, buzzer beater there to beat the horn. Kind of was there much said in the huddle, or y'all just know that y'all need to kind of step up y'all's game?
Yeah, I think it just starts with stops. We call them kills, 3 stops in a row. We're just always trying to get those, and that's where runs come in when you get stops, multiple stops.
Kobe, just talk a little bit about Rain. Rain's kind of been carrying you guys, not carrying you guys, but he's been really hot here. He only takes, I think, 2 or 3 shots, and yet you guys win. What does that say about your team that you're able to do that with that balance?
I think it just shows that we're a balanced team. Rain is a guy that we depend on, and he honestly didn't get enough shots tonight, and that's partially my fault, partially a little bit everybody's fault. But the good thing about Rain is that he doesn't really care. As long as we win, then he's happy at the end of the day.
Pete, last one for the players.
Good question. Kobe, coming from Cincinnati, right? And you chose to play for Pat from west side of Cincinnati. Any friction there, your side of Cincinnati? No, but why'd you choose? Charleston's a great school. You had a great run at Nova Southeastern. Why did you choose to come to Charleston?
I think it was just time to take a next step. I didn't really win any personal awards, but that's not really my thing at the end of the day. As long as we win, and it's easy. Like PK, our schools were rival high schools. We grew up like 5 minutes from each other, our houses. He's just a great guy. Everybody that he knows, I know in Cincinnati, and he likes to win, and that's what I like to do as well.
Kobe and Ben, you can stay. You can head out, and we'll stay with questions for Coach Kelsey.
Nah, I'm out here.
We'll start in front to Trevor.
Coach, how important is your depth heading into the semifinals after 9 guys scored today?
How important is what?
Your depth.
Oh, depth. I will say, because I'm distracted right now, I didn't realize when I was giving my opening statement, then I looked up and I saw Pete Gillen. So literally, if you're from Cincinnati, he's an institution. What Xavier has become, a national program. He's one of the founding members, the godfather that helped build the whole stinking thing. I went to his basketball camp every single year. He was there every second of every day. There's no coaches in the country that do that, and the reason I do it at our basketball camp is because of Coach Gillen. He's one of the funniest dudes I've ever met. When I was a young assistant at Wake Forest, and we were playing against a Princeton team at NC State, and Skip Prosser, the late Skip Prosser, my mentor, worked for Coach Gillen, and he goes, "Why don't you call Coach Gillen and see if you can go up and talk about the Princeton offense?" So I call him. I'm like, "I'm calling Pete Gillen." So Pete, sorry if you guys don't care about this story. And he goes, "Come on up." So he was in Charlottesville at the time. We go up, and I'm telling you, it was one of the coolest coaching days ever. So we're in the kitchen, and Coach, what's your wife's name again? Ginny. Ginny. He has Ginny being one of the NC State players. The toaster was the forward, and Coach Gillen's like showing me how to wedge. I remember thinking I was on candid camera, like Pete Gillen is like ducking me in his kitchen. It was wild, but that was really cool. Our depth, that's one of our deals. That's one of our hallmarks. We're one of the deepest teams in the country. Our bench scoring is ranked amongst the top in the country. When you get to tournament play, that's very, very helpful. Because it's a grueling several days, right? I mean, there's just mentally taxing, physically taxing, and the fact that we go really deep in our bench, I think, gives us an advantage.
Got time for one more. Andrew.
Sorry.
Pat, kind of the same question I asked Kobe about, Rain not scoring, and still you guys have the depth in scoring that was able to pull out a pretty easy win for you guys.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I told Rain in the locker room, he broke the school record for three-point makes in a game a week and a half ago. And I said, Rain, I don't care what the outside world says and what your stat sheet says and what the record book says. You played a better game tonight. He did. I mean, I'm not a big plus-minus guy. I'm a big analytics guy, but for whatever reason, I'm not a big plus-minus guy, and I don't even know. Rain took 2 shots and he was plus 29. I mean, it's pretty darn impressive. I mean, he was a monster, and he doesn't. People look at him like, he can't defend. Cat can defend now. Kobe's right, though. Kobe was sensational on him as well, but we talked about 1 verse 5 was a big kind of theme for this. And not that they were 1 guy and we were 5, but you have to guard that kid with 5 people, so it's not just the on-ball. I mean, you have to chase him off a million staggers, million screens. Everything's for him in the kitchen sink. So you need all 5 guys to be able to call out screens, to be thick in gaps, all that. I don't care what the stat sheet said. Rain played a phenomenal game tonight. Phenomenal.
All right, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you, Coach.